Welcome to the Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun.
Definitely.
What's up?
Hi.
Hello.
Cheers.
How we doing? Cheers. Yay.
Hi,
Happy Friday, everybody. It's Tuesday here, but it's Friday in your world.
We
Friday
are
somewhere.
so excited. We have Kishwaukee Brewery here.
Yay.
Yay. Hi, Mark. Hi, Dan.
Thanks for having us.
We're finally having some good beer, not the garbage we drink
Right?
on here.
What the heck? White Claws. What is that? So
It's not beer.
No, it's not.
So basic.
You are right. So my husband just started drinking the Bud Light Next, which is 0 carbs.
which is no
Definitely not
taste.
beer either.
No taste.
Alcoholic water.
I feel like it's like a beer flavored seltzer.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no-
this is very good. So what do you? Oh, this is your Pilsner. Is that what you call
Oh,
it?
I like the colors on
Yep.
it.
Yeah. It kind of matches our.
It really
Logo.
does. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're a little bit of tie dye, and then it's blue. on
Yeah.
here.
This
So is
very
this
good.
newer to the brewery?
This is one of our flagship beers. So this is brewed on a regular basis, and
wow.
yeah.
How many flavors do you guys have?
Currently, we have 12 on draft.
Nice.
Wow.
So I don't know anything. I did no research because I wanted to ask lots of questions to you guys.
For sure.
So can we come to your place and taste the beer and like, do you have tours or anything like that?
They have shirts. I have my shirt on
have
today.
shirts.
Yeah, we have tours. We try to do 1 or 2 a month.
Okay.
Usually Saturday or Sunday.
So you have like a Facebook page we can follow?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Facebook,
What-
Instagram.
Clopen follows them, and they follow us.
Oh.
We're basically famous.
We are basically famous. We're going to make you guys famous with us.
No,
love
vice
it.
versa,
I
I
love it.
think. I think it's vice versa.
Same difference.
They shared one of our posts. All of a sudden, we have all these new
Stop
new
it.
people following us. I'm like, all right,
Really?
that works
Okay.
out.
Thanks, guys.
Works both ways.
Yeah, well, we
best.
have a lot of local listeners, a lot of McHenry County, and you're in Woodstock, so I feel like that's our biggest crowd. Is
Oh,
in
see, I was
McHenry
thinking
County,
you guys
so-
were in Wisconsin.
No, you're
Oh,
Woodstock,
yeah,
right?
Why
Woodstock.
did I think
Yes.
that?
We're
'Cause
still
it's
McHenry
Kishwaukee.
County.
Woodstock is like Wisconsin South. So
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, same over here. Yeah. It's
All right,
the
so
whole
for
border.
anybody listening, it's 1900 Diller Court in Woodstock. Go visit.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll repeat that again at the end.
Okay.
Just
And
to
then
be
your
sure.
Facebook is just like Kishwaukee Brewing Company.
Kishwaukee Brewing Company.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
there like a picture of both of you on there then?
hope
Is it
not.
like
I'm sure
I
there's some
haven't
on there you don't know about.
We're not holding hands. We're holding pints.
good. Oh
Oh,
gosh.
that's funny.
So I was all organized. I like sent you an email. I'm like, here's all the questions that we're gonna ask. I don't even have my email up. I don't even know what
That's
questions
okay.
I sent.
I
How
don't-
did they get started? How about that?
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you did before
Yeah.
to present.
Sure.
right.
Yeah. I started brewing in Seattle about 12 years ago.
So this is Dan talking right now for
Yes.
anyone wanting to know.
Kara and I lived in Seattle. I started making beer on a, electric stove, 5 gallons at a time. I got laid off from architecture in 2007.
Oh,
So started making beer
yeah.
and really got
Perfect.
hooked on it. And that was the end of it.
Wow.
And then how
Uh,
did you meet Mark?
I moved back to Illinois and took a job in northern suburbs and got hired as a brewer. And that's how I met Mark.
Nice.
Wow.
So you were working at the brewery?
actually, Dan, I think, started before I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we both basically started at the exact same time at the same brewery. Dan was the head brewer. I was a production assistant at the time. So what year was that?
2014.
2014.
Oh,
It was the year I got
wow.
married. It was a
Oh,
lucky
neat.
year for
Lots
everybody.
of things happening. I did nothing in 2014, so
I'm sure you did something.
good on you guys.
So Mark, how did you get into
So actually,
brewing
my
beer?
story is pretty similar to Dan's. Not architecture, but I was actually working in the banking industry for many years. So I worked for, I won't name names, but 2007 he got laid off. 2008 we had the giant financial
Yes.
crash, and the bank that
Yes.
I worked for no longer existed after that.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh,
I
wow.
had dabbled in a little bit of home brewing before that, but then I had a lot of time on my hands and started to really get into it. I started brewing in my kitchen with a gas stove, which is
Oh.
a huge improvement over an electric stove.
Big improvement.
Most people in my household did not like the smell, so I moved to the garage and
Okay.
started brewing and bought some bigger equipment to do that and kind of just fell in love with it. And, my wife and I actually both worked in the banking industry at the time. We both got laid off, and we kind of made a decision that at least one of us should be happy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got lucky there.
Amazing.
And then, I went and pursued a brewing education. I know Dan did as well. We both went to the same brewing school, American Brewers Guild. And then when this new brewery opened up in the northern suburbs, I kind of jumped on it. I'm like, hey, I can help you out. I know I'm not qualified to be a head brewer at this point. I didn't have any experience at the time, but they brought me in as a production assistant, and I kind of learned everything from Dan at the time.
And
That's
Dan, you
awesome.
own it? Or you both own it?
I own Kara, my wife, and I own Kishwaukee Brewing Company.
Oh, okay.
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 Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
So tell me about the school.
So then this is like your right-hand man over here.
Oh, he
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the lion's share of everything production. He's the guy in the back. Everything that we're drinking today is Mark.
Wow.
Delicious.
So, yeah.
Again, I'm going to say it again. It is
It's
pretty
really
good.
good. I have a new favorite.
I know.
Can you just come over every week to chat real
Yeah,
quick
right.
so you can bring 6 packs?
We'll just deliver beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me
Just
about
set it
school
up.
real quick. Like, how long is it?
Yeah.
Is it local to here?
No, actually,
Oh.
it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, the course we took, I believe it was the same course, but concise course, so it was all remote.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that is
so
nice.
it was a lot of online learning and test taking, and then on the job also. So I did the same thing Mark did. I had a mentor in Seattle. Learned a lot on the job, and our mentors sign off on all these checkpoints, and we need to
Prove you know what you're doing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's not 5 gallons of beer, it's 465
Right.
Oh,
gallons
yeah.
of beer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is also back in the days where we had to watch DVDs. If anybody knows what those are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
DVDs.
Wasn't
What are
all on
those?
I think
YouTube.
my
Too
Thai
young
bow
for
that I
that.
did this morning is still on a DVD. They don't stream yet.
They left that back in the DVD.
I'm always like
era.
blowing on it. Okay, make sure you don't skip. Hey, whatever works, right? So how long is the course?
I think it was 9 months.
Yeah, that sounds
Oh, that's a
Holy
long
cow,
time.
That's
Yeah.
a long time to be drunk.
But I mean, you gotta learn what you're doing, right?
yeah.
You gotta know how to do it.
So tell me about tolerance. I'm sure so many people have asked you about that, but
What?
like,
What do you mean about tolerance?
like
What's
for
my
me,
tolerance?
yeah, like I can have
I already
like
got
2
a buzz.
beers and I'm good. Like, I do have a high tolerance. Like, how long does it take for you to like?
Mark's like,
They're both
"Mm."
shaking their
Yes.
heads.
I mean,
I feel like you almost have to, right? Especially if you have to try a couple, make sure that everything's good.
yeah, I mean,
and
during
before
the
opening.
day,
and,
as a brewer, you're having to sample the product to make
Yeah.
sure it's progressing the way you expect it to. And
So
Yeah.
you don't just mouth swish like the wine people do?
No.
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 we're talking about beer here.
I know.
But part of the tasting experience is the swallowing part, because some
It
of the
is.
aroma comes back
Yes.
through your nasal
Yes.
passages, so you don't get the full flavor without swallowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's all
I've
for
never been to a
science.
wine
It's all
tasting,
for
so I
science.
don't know.
It
what
Right
it is.
now.
Yeah, a lot of science there. So yeah, got to get that olfactory working and
Yeah.
smell.
The
tongue,
old factory,
taste.
that's what people were losing during COVID.
I know we're losing
Yeah.
a lot of old factories right now.
That's crazy. So you said something about like 468 gallons or something. Is that what like a normal batch is?
For our system, it's a 15 barrel system that equates to 465 gallons. So 15 barrels. There's
Oh my gosh.
31 gallons in a barrel.
Yeah.
That's our brew house.
I'll take a barrel.
How big of a place are we talking that you're in that holds all that?
Let's see. Our facility, including the tap room, is 10,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
wow.
So 3/4 of it is production.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7,500 square feet production, 2,500 for the tap room, and then we have a beautiful beer garden
You
out
do.
front.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nothing beats a good
I
beer
have been
garden.
there on a beautiful, sunny, 75-degree day.
We need one of those.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
And the
Some
back of the brewery is the most beautiful part.
It is.
Because
It
it's
is.
purpose built to be a brewery, and the floors
Oh.
slope to a drain.
Ooh.
That's
all I gotta
So you
say.
can just
So
hose everything
It
down.
was there
Exactly.
before, or
No, it's-
Dan, you built all this?
You built it.
Kara and I, we
Okay.
built this from ground up. Yeah, we purchased the property and designed the building and everything
Wow.
from ground up.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, during the pandemic, you never know what's going to happen. So
Yeah, because so you guys opened right before the pandemic or during or?
This
yeah,
is great timing right here.
we actually, in hindsight, it was good timing because if we opened doors during the first shutdown, it would have been
Yeah.
really bad. But
Right.
we actually broke ground the day after the first shutdown.
Okay,
So
so
March
I was going to
12th.
say right after St. Patty's Day or right around St.
Yeah.
Patty's
Yeah.
Day
Yep.
of 2020, right?
Yeah, because isn't that what they did? Did they let everybody go out on St.
Yes.
Patrick's Day? Oh,
Yep.
yeah, we were out.
Yes,
That's right.
We were out.
Did I see you on St. Patrick's Day and then I didn't
Not
see you
this
for like
year.
months?
Not
No,
this-
in 2020.
Oh, yeah. When I first got COVID?
Yeah. She's had COVID like 3 times. She doesn't have it now. Don't worry.
That we know of.
That we know of.
If I do, I'm just ignoring it at this point.
So do the wives work there as well? Or do they have something else?
Kara helps out.
Okay.
She does a ton of social media for us.
Nice. Oh,
She's
very good.
the one behind social media. She does
Can we
payroll,
hire her for
bookwork.
our social media?
Kara, give us a call.
She's running pretty lean right now.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
We'll just come down and take some pictures to put up on your Facebook.
And do they like beer as well?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Especially now that it's not cooking in the kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just get the finished product.
Yeah,
absolutely.
perfect. Perfect.
And there's children?
I have 5 children, so
Okay.
I see Dan's shaking his head like hell and
he's
no.
got dogs.
These are my babies right here.
I have 2 adult children which also enjoy beer, so
Very
I can share with
good.
them all the time.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And then 3 younger ones. So.
Amazing. And they, well, not the younger ones, but the older ones live local? They come to visit their brewery?
Actually, our oldest son lives in Iowa. He
Okay.
went to school out there and decided to live there, and then but he's been to the brewery a couple times.
Okay.
And then our oldest daughter lives with us right now. So
Very good. Good. And dogs? You have dogs?
I have 2 dogs
Yeah.
and a brewery.
Awesome.
That's enough,
Busy
Busy
right?
enough. You
That
both
is
are busy.
Yeah.
My
on its
goodness.
own.
That's about it.
I have no children either, so.
Can we talk about all the beers you have on tap?
oh sure.
Yeah, let's talk
absolutely.
about your favorites and best sellers and all that.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to remember all of them.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you can get
I'll
through
try,
11,
I'll
that'd
try
be great.
really hard.
You didn't bring a spreadsheet?
No.
Yeah. So
I don't
just
even know how
like
to make one. So.
just like kids, I say it's the one in my hand. That's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, we brew. We have 12 beers on draft at a time, and we package 6 in bottles for bottle distribution and draft. So those beers, we got Pilsner, Lager, Martzen, Baltic Porter, Session IPA, and IPA.
You said Pilsner, Lager, and then what was the next one?
Martzen.
What's that?
So
Is that dark, light?
It's a amber colored lager, so
Okay.
traditionally kind of an Oktoberfest style beer.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
But
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oktoberfest has kind of diverged into 2 different beer styles over time. So
Yeah.
Martin is more the traditional darker colored one. Some malt sweetness to it, but still very approachable and drinkable.
I thought you were only allowed to have Oktoberfest in October.
Hell no. We have that one as year round. We
This
also
is why I drink White Claw.
we brew an Oktoberfest as well. So we'll release an Oktoberfest come September. So we'll have that on draft, and hopefully this year we put it into bottles too. So
yeah, that's the plan. We'll bottle our fest beer. So like Mark's saying, I mean, Martzen was a traditional Oktoberfest beer, but as years went on, a lot of people were going to Germany for Oktoberfest in Munich,
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
looking for lighter colored beer.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to drink the amber colored beer, so they started developing what they now call a fest beer. So we have a phenomenal version of that, and we'll start bottling that this year.
Have you guys ever gone to Germany?
I've been to Germany for architecture school.
Yeah.
but,
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Did you drink good beer out there?
I had some of the best beer I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it warm?
It was, I'd say, room temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I can't get over. I don't know if I can handle that. But I'm thinking like Miller Lite warm.
Yeah.
You know what I
Never-
mean?
never
So,
good.
like 40
right.
degrees.
So can you tell me the difference between ales and lagers?
I think we could probably answer that
All
question.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I would hope so.
yeah, I would hope so. Ales and lagers, you differentiate the two by the yeast you use. So there are ale strains of yeast and lager strains of yeast. Ale strains of yeast tend to be a little bit more expressive, and prefer to operate at warmer temperatures. If you tried to ferment an ale at a lager type temperature, like 50 degrees Fahrenheit or so, it wouldn't do anything really, or it'd go really slow.
Okay.
A lager is a cold fermenting yeast, so it's a strain that prefers to operate in the lower 50 degree range. You can ferment them warmer, but then they kind of produce some off flavors. So, but the end result of a lager yeast is a crisper, cleaner beer. So, ales tend to have a little bit of fruitiness to them that kind of comes from the yeast strain, whereas lagers will be more just clean, crisp, with not a lot of yeast character left behind. And they also tend to ferment more of the sugars in the beer. They can typically break down some of the longer chain sugars better than an ale yeast can. So as you drink like a Pilsner, it's, you get that crisp finish to it. That's the yeast being able to eat most of the sugar that's in that beer.
Okay.
So.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So I'm a fan of, I'm going to say this wrong, but like a fruit infused beer. Like I do like how do you add those fruity flavors? That's not an additive. That's just the yeast, or it is.
Well, I mean,
like I've tried like a peach beer, and that's what they're
most
saying.
of
like
that's adding something to the beer.
Yeah,
so you're adding
okay.
some type of adjunct to the beer. When I say an ale yeast will produce some fruitiness, it's not overtly like, oh my God, this is peach.
right.
If you're talking about those types of beers, you're adding something. So
Oh,
you're
okay.
either adding real fruit. There's a lot of breweries that also will add, artificial flavors too. So
Yeah.
you can go
During
either
the
way on that.
process, when do you add those flavors?
The way we've done it, we try to stick to more traditional brewing styles and techniques. We kind of believe in, the purity of beer tasting like beer.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we're adding fruit to a beer, we'll typically add it during fermentation. Or sometimes we'll add it into the kettle on the hot side of the brewing process. But usually the later you add it in the process, the more the flavor is going to stay in the beer and not get kind of blown out by the fermentation. So
Okay.
Very interesting.
I am
it.
no longer having any fruit infused beer. I'm going to have real beer.
Only real beer.
Only real beer. Only real beer.
I'm already slurring my
beer
words.
flavor to our beer.
Beer flavored beer.
Beer flavored beer.
flavored beer.
I don't
That's
know,
hard to
that's
say.
probably
Real beer.
copyrighted somewhere.
Yeah, I think that was
Somebody
quoted
took
by
that.
Dennis Leary.
Oh, okay. I'll hitch my trailer to him.
So how many are on your team?
Let's see. We have
Let's
eight,
talk about my team.
Yeah. Okay.
eight
Go ahead,
working
Mark.
here.
So it's just me.
It is just Mark.
It's Dan part-time and me.
Yeah, I help Mark out in the back between doing sales, taxes, inventory for the tap room, shaking hands, and meeting the folks. So Mark is like I said earlier, he's the doing the lion's share of the work in the back. So it's
Are you the brewmaster? Is that what they call it?
I don't
Yeah.
call myself a brewmaster.
yeah,
I'm the head brewer.
Okay.
Brewmaster is kind of an official designation, I suppose.
he's a brewmaster. He's earned it.
There you go.
So I
See?
heard that females are alewives. Is that right? Are they called
What?
alewives?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
That's
It's
the
like the
first,
brewmaster, but the female version.
That's the first I heard.
It's
Oh,
like
it
a
was
historical
bar talk
thing
one time we were
where,
out.
Yeah,
Oh.
back in
It
the
was just
day,
some drunk telling you that.
Definitely.
when the wives would brew the beer at home, they'd be called alewives.
Yeah.
Aha.
There we go.
Got to get my history books out.
Yeah. I'm going to have to Google that
I
one
think that was
later.
a Germany thing. So
That should be on Wednesday night trivia.
There you go.
Yeah.
So besides your place, are there other restaurants or bars around here that carry your beer? As
Yeah.
he's drinking his beer right now.
Yeah,
I would answer the question, but he's the sales guy.
Yeah, all right.
And
Let's
the
talk
marketing
sales.
guy.
Let's talk
Yeah.
sales.
Sure. Yeah. McHenry County, we're doing really well. We have let's see, we're in Johnsburg now, so at your local bowling alley.
Ooh.
We have our blonde ale on.
Oh, I gotta take a bowling.
Yeah.
Right. McHenry, we have Vicky's Place.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see.
That's a busy place outside in the summer.
Yes.
All the boaters and the deck
Yes.
out there. Mm-hmm.
You can find us at your McHenry County Binny's, Garfield's,
Oh,
and
okay.
Renetti's,
Yep.
for packaged beer. Crystal Lake has several restaurants, bars, establishments. If we want to go into names and stuff like that.
Sure.
Duke's Ale House currently has our Sandhill Summer Lager on.
That sounds
We
good.
like Duke's. It's a good one.
I've never been there.
Mm.
Vine and Plate another great place. They have our rye Doppelbock on. That's one of our draft beers.
Wait, hold on a second.
Where are they located?
What is Doppelbock?
Here we go.
That's kind of like the Brat House has that Hammerschlagen.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to get
Doppelbock.
Doppelbocked.
I want to get Doppelbocked and Hammerschlagen.
You could get Doppelbocks for sure.
You could definitely get Doppelbock on
Is
that.
that is that a light one or a dark one?
This is a heavier beer.
Is it an ale or a lager?
This is a lager
Okay.
also. So
Okay.
another traditional German
Yeah.
style beer, but with a little rye added to it.
Oh.
This is one of Mark's creations, and
Ooh.
yeah, it turned out great. So
We have
gonna-
so many places
I
to
know.
visit.
yeah, Vine and Plate, 1776. Yeah, I can't remember all of them.
Sure,
right
of
now,
course.
So,
Yeah,
but
that's
we could,
amazing.
We could go to our local Binny's over here and grab a 6-pack if
Yeah.
we want.
Definitely
Yeah.
go down the street to the McHenry Binnies or
Yeah.
Crystal Lake Binnies.
Nice.
Garfield's.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I am burpy today. Sorry, guys. Means it's doing
It's
its
a well
job, right?
carbonated beer. Yeah. Yep.
It's highly carbonated.
It's good. I'm loving it.
Oh, wait, I'm gonna take a break real quick. I gotta tell you this
What?
story. So I went shopping yesterday to get these chairs. We have fancy new chairs.
Yes.
Well, I mean they're not fancy, but they're comfy.
They are
Because
super
we
fancy.
usually sit on the
a
stools,
stool.
right?
I straddle a stool
we
usually.
do. So I'm at the local store, and I'm holding these 4 chairs. They're like
Yeah.
metal chairs.
They weren't in a box?
And they decided to close down all the cash registers because they're going to wax. I was like, okay, great timing. You know, I was that cranky customer. And they only had like the general merchandise side open.
And it was self-check?
Yeah, and it was self-check. So there was a line for miles. It like wrapped around all the
Oh
whole
my
store. And I'm like, I'm going to
God.
stay patient. That's fine. I got my chairs, you know, I'm just planning everything. This couple walks up, and I think they were probably drinking some beer. And she decides that she thinks it's going to be funny to watch the man she's with, I don't know if it was her husband or whoever, to check himself out. Like on the
She
register.
wouldn't help him?
No. And she
Oh,
thought it was really
God.
funny. Oh, you have to find the peel. I'm like, one time, I just want to punch a customer out. I'm sweating carrying these chairs, and I'm watching her. You're not cute, and you're not funny. All right? I literally said that
I
under
probably
my breath.
would have just pushed her out of the way and rang up the chairs and then just
Oh,
walked
I mean,
out.
I did a death stare, but it didn't matter because she was all like, "Woo-hoo-hoo, this is so funny."
You can buy my chairs now.
And they had a basket of stuff.
Oh, God, of
everybody
course.
behind was just like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" So listen, ladies, if you're with your man, it's not cute. Just help
What's
him
up
ring
with that
out.
store, though? Why would they do that?
I don't know. It was like prime time too. Wait, what's
Jerks.
today? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Sunday. It was Sunday afternoon. It was Sunday afternoon. I wasn't
Honestly.
shopping yesterday. Yeah, Sunday afternoon. Everything got, and you could tell everyone that was working the store was like, "This is gonna be hell night."
This is a bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea.
And
But
you
I mean, you got to do it, right?
person to be
you
like,
have to
what
maintain.
the fuck is going on?
Yeah, you
but
got to do maintenance. But I was
probably
just
would have
like,
said, what the fuck is
the
going
customers that
on?
were there were not. They weren't making it any easier for any of the customers. So, all right. Anyways,
Bad day to buy chairs.
Yeah.
hey, but you know what?
I
I'm
really
comfy.
appreciate you buying this nice
I
cushy chair
know,
for
I
my butt to
know.
sit
We're
on.
fancy. I just wanted us to be fancy.
Yeah,
I rearranged the whole
You did.
I did. Yep.
I know. I saw Snapchats of it.
I cleaned.
That couch used to be there. The
I actually
TV was over there.
vacuumed. I was like, Psh,
Actually
making-
vacuumed
I'm always cleaning.
from our sparkles from Christmas.
It's,
Oh yeah.
it's spotless in here.
It is.
It is, right? I know. She's like, don't mind the mess. And I was like,
What mess?
where?
Well, there's 4 adults that live in this house. There's no children, so there's nothing to clean up, just dust.
And you trained them very well
I
to clean up
did.
after
I did.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have one that drinks beer, so that's good. We'll have to bring her with us.
We need more day trips with
We
Julia.
do. She's fun. She's newly 21, so she enjoys going out.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Anyways, sorry.
Our tap room is open every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Monday through Friday,
I think I went.
plus Saturday
I
and
think it's
Sunday.
been like 2 years. I don't think I went last year. I'll have to ask Christine. She's the one that took me.
She's the one that took you
Mhm.
over
That's
there.
how I got the shirt.
I know. I was wondering when
Yeah,
you
we
went
ordered
without me.
food at a local place and ate it and had a beer there.
Are you guys close to the square?
About a mile and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
That's how we did it. We picked up food and then we went
Yeah.
to the brewery. So, okay. So, do you have to deal with customers often, or what do you call them? Patrons? What do you
It's
call
like, not
those?
me. I'm in the
Not
back
me.
room.
Yeah.
I just locked the
I'm
back
just
door.
wondering if like anyone ever has any one-liners that you're sick of hearing. I mean, you seem like you just completely enjoy, so I don't think anything would bother you. But is it just like Can you think of anything that like they would say over and over again and you're like, haha, that's so funny, and then you just walk back to the back room?
This reminds me of like going to festivals.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
we'll,
let's
we'll
talk.
go
Okay.
and do beer festivals all
Okay.
the time.
Yeah.
And they're always 1 hour too long. So
Yeah.
schedule a 4-hour beer festival. It should have been 3.
Should have been
3.
3 hours.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that last hour is when you get the same one-liners over and over again.
Yeah.
You guys have the best beer ever. This is the best beer I've ever had. What do you have with the most alcohol?
Oh God. And they're just like
And you're like,
wasted.
I just want to go home.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't drink. I'm here for 4 hours.
Can you give me a full pour?
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
That was the other one.
Uh,
Yeah, these festivals are typically like 2-ounce pour.
Yeah.
Illinois
and-
laws kind of dictate that.
Oh, sure,
right,
sure.
Right.
And some of the festival organizers will give them like, here's a 16-ounce glass, but we're only going to pour you this much
Yeah.
at each brewery stop. So
Oh, okay.
by the end of it, they're like, can you fill this up for
oh
me?
my God.
It's like, how about a glass of water?
Yeah.
I'll call you an Uber.
Do you work all the festivals, both of you?
Typically, yeah.
Yeah.
And there haven't been many the last couple of years.
No.
but
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
year should be.
Do you have some lined
quite a
up?
few more.
Yeah,
we
coming back into festival season. So yeah, I mean, last year was horrible because everything in the pandemic. But yeah, we got half a dozen already lined up for this year.
Amazing. Where are you going?
I know. Are you guys going to put, like, can you do me a favor and put it on Facebook, like where you're going to be so we can just
Yeah.
follow you?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Like a bunch of groupies.
Dan's wife can do it.
absolutely.
Let's give her a call. Can you let us know where they're
Yeah.
going?
We'll tell her to take notes when she
Yeah.
listens to this. So.
yeah, we
Can you send this to Cass and Meredith, please?
yeah. May we got quite a few coming up. We got Beer Under Glass. That will be our first big festival that we'll partake in. It's Union Station this year. It's typically at Garfield Conservatory.
Oh.
But yeah. It's,
Wait, Union Station, like in Chicago?
Yep.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah, like Untouchables,
Yeah.
I'm there all the time.
She works near there.
So yeah, I think they've already sold like 1,500 tickets to that.
How convenient. We can take the train right there, too.
Exactly.
Done.
Yeah.
That's in May.
May 13th.
Oh,
May
shit.
13th?
That's
And
coming
I
up
think
real
it's
quick.
a Friday, right?
It's a Friday.
Yeah.
It
Oh.
also kicks off Illinois Craft Beer Week
Okay.
for
Wait, it's actually
Illinois.
in Union Station, like where the benches are. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
stop.
I'm
We're
telling
going.
ya.
We're going.
Okay.
Done.
I'm done.
All right.
I'm ready.
There we go.
Yeah.
We promise not to say, can you fill it up?
We'll be
We
like,
promise to say
remember us?
no.
Can you give us a couple?
What's your strongest beer?
For anybody going to a festival, if you don't want to be the one who's annoying us,
Yeah.
just go early, try the beers,
And
then-
only stay 3 hours.
yes,
Done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Get the hell out.
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours. That's too much.
That is a
that's
long
lot.
time.
Yeah.
They do this in McHenry County. They always have the big festivals
Yeah,
here, and we'll go early. We go early.
I don't even go.
Yeah, we go early.
I very rarely.
Like I'm usually out of there by 7
Yeah.
p.m. maybe, depending on when it started, just because.
I don't even
I
go.
don't know. It gets
First
crazy.
of all, I can hear Peterson Park from my house. if
Yeah,
they have
that's
a
true.
concert, so I
Yeah.
don't even have to go.
That's
I don't have
true.
to pay for nothing.
We're wild and crazy around here.
Put some lawn chairs out. And
Yeah,
Heck
you're all
yeah.
I
set.
just hang out on my back porch and like I can hear the music from here.
The following day, Schaumburg Ballpark Fest.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Well,
2 days in a row.
that's why we have a team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're gonna get a lot of one-liners in those 48
Schaumburg?
hours.
Yep.
That's right.
Oh, in the 48 hours?
Yeah.
That you just meant in Schaumburg.
You have to wear earplugs the second day.
Yeah, at the Schaumburg Boomers Stadium,
I think there's the Lake in the Hills Festival.
Lake in the Hills.
Is
pub-
that like the Rib
in the
Fest?
Park.
Pub in the
or,
Park.
oh,
Pub in the Park. It's separate. They do have a
Oh.
Rib Fest too. But
Yeah, we have so much
Uh,
to do this year. This
I
is
think
exciting.
Pub in the Park they scheduled it for October this year.
Okay.
You know, now that I drive to the city all the time, I feel like I used to think everything was so far away because I never left McHenry really, unless I went 5 hours up north to the cabin. So now I drive to the city every day and I'm like, what's 45-minute drive? That's nothing, you
right.
know?
Yeah. And now I'm the opposite because I've been working
Yeah.
from home for a year.
Yeah.
And I have to go to the city in a couple days, and I'm just like, oh no,
Already,
yeah.
Sick.
And I can't take the train. I have to bring signs and stuff. So I'm like, oh man.
Where are you going? I'll meet you down there.
Yeah,
I'll
I
take
will
the
tell
signs.
you. I will tell you.
I'll pick you up from the train station.
What else you have?
Yeah, we have Mundelein Beer Fest.
Oh, Mundelein. That's
I've been to
close,
that
too.
one before.
Lost it.
I
It's
lost
okay.
it.
That's all right.
That's all
That's
right.
all
Don't worry
right.
about it.
We can Google it
We have
or
a ton of
social
birthdays
it.
in June, so we got something going on every weekend anyways.
Found it. June 11th.
June 11th.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. That's good.
It's right before Johnny's birthday.
Right after Julia. She'll be 22.
There you go.
There we go.
We got lots of excuses to go.
Yeah, then usually we do the Cary Park Fest. That's at Triple R off of Crystal Lake Road.
Can you tell me what is involved in all of this? I'm just picturing a trailer, and what do you have to do to get ready for these festivals?
Typically, most festivals are like bring your beer and bring something to dispense your beer. So,
Okay.
for us, we're self-distributing in most areas, not McHenry County. But if we're going to a festival where we don't have a distributor, so they're not going to bring our beer, then we're bringing everything. So,
Wow.
So, like, would you bring
typically-
a whole keg?
Yeah,
or would you just
usually
bring...
we'll bring like 2 kegs.
Okay.
We have what's called a jockey box. Nobody probably knows what that is.
Nope.
No.
That's why you're
Explain
here
it.
to tell us it
It's
all.
literally an igloo cooler with
Okay.
like a stainless steel cooling coil or plate inside. So you fill it up with ice, and then you run beer lines from your keg into this little chiller inside this cooler. So you could actually have warm beer, and it'll run through this cooler and chill it down.
Kind of instantly chills.
And it's got faucets that you would dispense the beer on the
Okay.
front of it, and you
I
push
need
it
one
with
of
a
those
little
at the
portable
house.
seal. Yeah, actually.
It's kind of a mini bar.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll bring that, and then whatever, some tablecloths, whatever merchandise we want to hang out or hand out, and then
A lot of stickers.
Yeah, people
Everyone
love
wants
stickers.
stickers.
everybody wants
They
stickers,
do, yeah.
coasters. People love coasters.
My
Yeah.
husband loves coasters, and we don't even use them at the house.
We don't either.
I've collected so many coasters, and they just sit.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
I don't ever use a coaster.
Yeah.
I
Coasters
never
and
use
glassware.
coasters.
Yeah,
man.
glass.
Oh, I
Glassware.
have so
Yeah.
much
I
glassware.
have a cabinet with so many beer glasses. It's
Yeah, and
ridiculous.
mine are running glasses. Like when you win or when you run a race, sometimes you can get a glass. So it's
Yeah.
like, pfft, I wasn't lazy on that day. I just toss it out. I think I need more beer glasses than running glasses.
But aren't they usually pint glasses that you get from
Yeah.
running?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beer glass, right?
No, I know, but I don't
Oh.
want the running on there. I want to think about beer, not
Oh.
working out.
Oh, well,
It's two different things. It's
you can drink
casual,
and be
it's
like,
fun.
yeah, I was active that day. I don't have to be active today.
That's true. It's like 4 years. It's all faded.
This is well loved.
And about how much beer do you bring to these festivals? I know it probably depends on the size, but just
Yeah, it depends. We fill 2 different size kegs. A 6-barrel is approximately 5 gallons. A half barrel, which is the larger size, is 15.5 gallons. So that larger size, we get about 120 pints.
I was
out of it.
just going to ask that about how much is that? Yeah.
You said the
Um,
5 gallon, so like we call those pony kegs, I think, right?
Yeah,
like-
Pony Keg was
the short
kind
ones,
of
right?
yeah,
From
yeah, those are-
1978, I'm talking.
Those are quarter barrels.
Quarter
I
barrels,
finished
okay.
many of those off. I know
Yeah,
what you're talking
right?
about.
Was that the high school parties were quarter barrels?
No, we got the whole keg. We did.
I was going to say,
don't
I
know
think we
about
got the
you,
smaller
but
ones.
we
We had
got the
smaller
whole-
parties.
It was Miller High Life. We drank the shit out of that. It was the cheapest barrel you could get.
I do remember that.
It'd be warm. We wouldn't even have ice.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
You told your mom you were sleeping at my house, right? Because I told my mom I was sleeping at your house.
Thank God they don't talk.
I know. My mom didn't talk to anybody. I probably met him down the road.
See, I was dumb. I was like, see you later.
Yeah,
My
I'm
parents
going
would be
for
mad
a
at
walk.
me.
Right?
Yeah.
See you later. You got a bag of Solo cups. We're not doing anything wrong.
Oh, gosh.
maybe a change of clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
No, I never thought ahead like that.
No, never.
I kind of wish I would have, but
So what are your hours at the brewery?
Taproom hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, taproom hours. Let's see. They're kind of Monday through Friday. Typically, we're Monday through Thursday we're 3 to 9. Friday we're 2 to 10. Saturday we're 12 to 10. Sunday 12 to 6.
nice.
Wow. Busy, busy.
Busy.
So you talked about production Monday through Friday. Can you talk through that? Like what, is it like typical days that you do things, or can you talk through your week
Yeah,
for
sure.
us?
We don't really have a typical brewing schedule because we kind of follow the schedule that the beer gives us.
Mhm.
Fermenting beer is essentially a living product, so it's like we're letting the yeast kind of dictate our timeline. So, on a typical brew day, that's going to be a full 8-hour day. I usually will start those pretty early because otherwise it gets hot in the back. We do not have air conditioning, nor do we need it.
Yeah.
But I don't really have a set schedule per se, week to week. It depends. Do we need to bottle anything this week? Do we need to brew anything this week? There's all kinds of cleaning tasks as well. So I do not have a set schedule. As
How do
far
you
as what
bottle
I
it?
do, but
Does it just like, psh, and then how do you cap it?
we actually have a machine that does all of this for us.
It does all of it,
Yep.
just runs through like on how it's made.
Is it conveyor or you have to do each bottle?
No, it does 4 bottles at a time. So
okay.
it's kind of it's got a ramp system where you feed bottles in, and then it kind of just slides them forward 1 row at a time, so it fills 4 at a time.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of hard to describe without seeing it, but it's a counter pressure filler. So it'll shove a tube into the bottle with a seal on the top, and then it pressurizes that bottle with carbon dioxide. And then as it slowly releases the pressure, a beer will flow in until it's full. And then once it's full, the filling head kind of comes up, the tube comes out, and then it slides it over to the next row. I'm doing like a visual presentation that nobody can see.
It's okay.
But then the next row is where it gets capped. So there's the crowner mechanism kind of has these 4 ramps where one cap will slide down each ramp, and it hits a little magnet, and then a pneumatic cylinder pushes it down onto the bottle and kind of crimps it.
Oh.
And then it just keeps pushing it down the line, and then it hits a conveyor belt at the end where it goes through a labeler that'll put this fancy little sticker on there.
I just totally imagined how it's made style.
Yeah,
I
that was
saw it all in
excellent.
my head.
Yeah,
Anybody,
me too.
watch I Love Lucy when they're making the
Yeah.
chocolates? It's kind
Yeah.
of like that. It's like,
Yeah.
You got to keep drinking the beer. They're coming off the line. I don't know what to do. All right, it's not
Oh,
really
that's
like
funny.
that, but
So who creates the labels?
We have a great company in Chicago called Conjure, and they did a fantastic job with all of our branding and label work. But
So do they send you proofs, like different ones of
They
what they
do.
think, or do you send them an idea of what you're thinking, or?
Yeah, we always go back and forth, and we tell them what kind of style beer we're coming out with, and they get to work, and it's usually a pretty quick turnaround, couple days, and they provide us with like 2 or 3 schemes, and
Yeah.
just kind of pick.
I like this
pick
one.
what
Yeah.
we like.
It's got like wildlife on it.
yeah, and they all kind of tie back to like the local wildlife in our area. So
It seems
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is neat. Very neat.
In Kishwaukee, the name comes from the Kishwaukee headwaters are based in Woodstock, Illinois.
Really? I did not know
I
that.
didn't either.
So
That's why
a
they're
lot
here,
of,
though.
A lot
I
of
know.
migratory animals and birds that pass through our area.
Okay, so I was freaking out because the cranes,
Yes.
which
Yeah, the
Cranes.
sandhill
You have
cranes.
here.
Oh.
Okay, it was a couple weeks ago. They were crazy around here. It was a really windy day. I put it on my Snapchat and on Facebook because I thought at first they were geese.
That's a
'cause-
big goose.
Well, they were okay. Hear me out. They were kind of in a triangle at first when I first saw them, and I could hear them, and they kind of sound like a goose, but they were so far up. I thought they were smaller, and then everyone's like, "Those are cranes. Those are cranes. It's mating season." They just like catch the wind and ride it out, and there was probably like 500 of them.
Wow.
It was I've never seen that many together in my life. It was insane. Have you guys ever seen that?
I have seen that, and
Damn
we
it.
are like in a migratory
Yes.
flyway.
That's
for
what everybody was telling me. I
sandhills.
felt
Yeah.
like an idiot because I've lived here my whole life and I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, and
the
yeah.
field across from the brewery, there's a couple sandhill cranes that seem to come back every spring.
Yes.
They're beautiful looking animals. So
Oh,
we get
Is
to
it the
see
ones with the red eyes?
the red, yeah,
Yeah.
red like Kato mask. kinda.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when I was at my last job, I was working at a gas station locally here, and we had a pair that came back every year, and there was a bank right behind us, and they would go and peck at themselves in the windows of the bank. Well, when everybody was getting their, what was those checks?
You sent so many Snapchats about these cranes.
Because I was calling them Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
And everybody
She would make up stories. They'd
break
be
into the
walking
bank.
up and she'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah." That's their Snapchat for like a year. Were these 2 birds by the bank? And I laughed every time.
Because everybody was getting their money from the government. I was like, we need our money. Because they were like ripping the weather stripping off of the window in the door.
Where's my government
Oh my
cheese check?
God. Yes, it was so funny. It was so funny. Anyways, I like the cranes.
So this is the first year that I've seen them across. We have the cornfield over here.
I saw one hanging out with a bunch of geese the other day over
Yeah.
there.
It's the first time ever that I've seen them over there.
Really?
Yeah. So it's funny because a couple weeks ago, we had cows loose around here.
Oh God.
We had the Longhorn, and the baby decided to walk through our neighborhood and get to the high school and to the. So I was telling people at work, I said, we got cows loose around here, like, because they all live in the city in Chicago. So they're like, what are you talking about? We see pigeons, you know. And then when I was talking about the sandhill cranes, and I was talking about all the geese that were in my yard, they're like, this is crazy. Now I have a robin, a bird that is digging a hole through my mulch. It looks like a dog dug a hole in my mulch. I'm like, but these birds are crazy. These cows are crazy. I don't know what it's doing, but it looks like a dog. At first I thought it was my neighbor who I don't like. Sorry if she listens. I don't like her. They have like 55 dogs. I'm like, oh, one of them must have gotten loose and like dug a roll. No, it's a robin. He's like digging through. I'm like, okay, it's like a zoo around here now.
She said they have 55 dogs. They have 2.
They have 4.
It sounds like 55.
It absolutely. There's 55. They're all different colors. I can't keep track.
So funny.
It's like a zoo
Is it
around
the same
here.
one, or is it its mother?
Julia was trying to have breakfast the other day, and they were humping out there, and she was like, "Oh, this is lovely."
Spring is in the air.
Oh my gosh.
Lovely.
How well do you know Brewmaster slang,
Oh
Cass?
shit! Are we doing this? You guys are really gonna have to help me with this because I know nothing about.
So
beer.
the reason why I picked this quiz for her is because there's just really funny answers, which I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to answer all of them, but you guys get to help her.
We're here.
All right. So the first question is, what does barley mean? And there's 3, multiple choice.
Essay question is at the end, so just be ready for that.
These are so funny. So barley is a dangerous mission, something you love eating, a cereal grain used as a base malt for producing beer. Should we do all wrong answers?
Dangerous. It barley sounds very
It definitely
dangerous.
sounds dangerous.
It's a dangerous mission.
It's barley dangerous.
Obviously, it's what you use to brew beer.
Yes. All right. Is she correct?
She is
Okay.
correct.
She
That
is
is
correct.
correct.
All right.
Barley
Oh,
and
gosh.
hops. Ready?
Okay. What is a body? What is a body?
A human body.
Dark horses, humans, consistency.
Fuck. Consistency.
I want to talk about all the humans that come visit your brewery too. Don't let me
Oh
forget.
God.
Anyways.
We have a lot of those.
Yeah.
A lot of characters.
Okay. What does it mean when something is in a growler?
Ooh, I know what a growler is.
You want to just say it? Because this one says it's a mean
It's-
cat. Or an African lion. Or it's a...
like a jug.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it 64 ounces?
It is 60.
Yeah. Okay.
64.
All right.
ounces.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
the
only
next
know
one.
that from Brat House.
What are hops? Is it a
Hops.
British term for jumping jacks?
Yes.
It might be.
It's what
Is it
bunnies
wo-
do.
Is it what kids do when they play hopscotch?
Yes.
Or is it a vine that produces female ripened flowers for flavoring?
Probably that one.
All right.
If we're talking
Is that correct?
That is
all
correct.
right.
That's correct.
I was
A
wondering if this
female.
quiz was correct.
I never knew.
Like, we have
I never
experts
knew
here.
what
This better be
hops
right.
were, though. I didn't know they were flowers.
They
I
are
just
flowers, yeah.
thought it was like
My brother grows them around
Weed.
his. He's a beer brewer. He grows them around his
he's a
deck in
kitchen
the back
beer brewer,
basement. Yeah.
basement
Yeah,
beer
they'll
brewer.
grow up to 20, 25 feet
feet.
tall.
Really?
They'll just
Yeah,
climb
he-
up, whatever. They
Yep,
just
he's got
kinda
them all over his back
counterclockwise.
deck.
Will
and-
they like take over?
Yeah.
Like if you don't prune
absolutely.
them back?
Yes, they
Yeah.
They're
will.
very invasive.
So they are a
It
weed.
took me 2 years to get them out of my garden when I
Stop
decided to
it,
stop
really?
growing them because the vines underground will kind of spread.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just-
Do you know mint
They're
does that
tough to
too? I
kill.
have mint
Yes.
all
Oh, I've
over
got
my
mint
house
too.
because I
Mint
was
is
like threw a
crazy.
few seeds down and that was it. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Except I don't have bugs in my backyard, so
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a plus.
So we just talked about this. What's a keg? The darkest beer you can find. College party.
Yes.
Or a container made of steel used to transport beer.
College party.
Is it a container?
Yeah.
It is a
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Final answer.
Final answer.
What's a porter? Hey, I don't see the
Oh,
sun
good question.
here. Is it a
What's
music
a
man?
porter?
Someone that watches doors? Or an English-style dark beer from the 18th century?
Oh, an English-style dark beer from the 18th century.
Almost
Yeah.
100% accurate.
Is
Yeah.
it?
What? Yeah.
What
What
There,
did
you
there are other
disagree
styles
with?
of porter.
Let's
That is
talk about
actually-
them.
That is
Yeah.
one of the styles of porter. We do
What are
not
the
brew
other
that porter.
styles?
Yeah.
What is a porter? What's your
Yeah. What
definition
is a porter
of a
and
porter?
what?
That gets back into ales versus lagers.
Yes, it
Okay.
Yeah.
does.
Let's go
Okay.
back to that.
Okay.
So we brew a porter, but we brew a lager porter called a Baltic porter.
A Baltic
Mm.
porter.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
originated in the Baltic Sea area of Europe.
I was just like,
Oh, wow.
it makes me think of pirates. They drink Baltic
Yep.
porters, I'm sure.
Very full bodied. We talked about body.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But yeah, it's definitely malt forward, chocolatey.
Chocolate.
Ooh.
Chocolates.
It's dark.
See, they keep
brown,
calling it
almost
chocolate,
black.
but it doesn't taste like chocolate, and then I get disappointed.
We love
Chocolatey,
chocolate.
espresso.
Yeah.
characteristics.
Yeah, see, if they
Yes.
told me espresso, I
Yeah.
would be a little
It's 'cause
more
it's got-
leery
it's
of
got
trying
kind of
it.
a roasty bitterness to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark chocolate for sure.
Some of the best ones in the world come from the area of like Poland, Lithuania, Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Okochum was one of the best ones. I'm not sure if it's still
I
distributed
don't know that they
to the U.S.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a really good one.
I was talking about going to Aruba. Maybe I need to go take like a European trip or
I'm-
something.
I'm getting
there's
my
some
passport. I'm
amazing
in.
beer in Europe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Aunt Teresa would like that. She
I
likes
think she
beer.
would. We're still going in December.
Let's find out.
Okay.
We're going to call her.
So sometimes some beers that I drink, after dinner or whatever, I'm not full. But some beers make me very full.
Yeah, what is
What
that?
is that? I just thought about that when you were just talking about that chocolate one.
yeah.
I would never be able to have that after a meal because I feel like that would be so heavy and
Yeah.
and it would make
you
me
over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that kind of fill you up with when it comes to beer. For a lot of people, it's just the carbonation. So you drink a bunch of carbonated beverages, so you're just full of gas.
Yeah.
I mean,
but-
I just burp.
but
I'm
yeah,
not scared to
mean,
burp.
Don't hold it in. Let it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Better-
Let it go.
Better out than in, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Better
So-
this way than that way.
Yeah.
That happened to me at Alta yesterday.
Stop it. Not talking about poop or farts on this one.
It happens.
Everybody
does.
But
everybody laughs
beers
at
do
farts.
have some residual sweetness to them too, so you got some sugar left over. The
Yeah.
yeast can't
Okay.
eat all of the sugar. They'll typically eat about 80%, depending on the yeast strain.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Lager beer, like we talked about earlier, lager yeast likes to ferment out more of the sugars. But with these, like porter's a great example because
Mhm.
a lot of residual sugar left.
We use a lot of specialty malts in porter, so there are what we call crystal malts. So the way they malt the barley, it leaves a lot of sugar that the yeast cannot consume. So you end up with residual sweetness in the beer. So you're basically filling yourself up with sugar too. So between the carbonation and that residual sugar, sometimes it's going to fill you up.
Yeah. Okay.
And it,
Makes sense.
that beer in particular is a great dessert beer.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
You're not
gonna
going to
say,
sit
yeah.
there and pound 3 of them.
Right.
Right. It's
You're
just a
gonna
nice
sip it.
casual one
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's when you get the little glass. So
Yeah. I've
exactly.
seen that
Yeah.
before.
Kind of like a
Share it with a friend.
port wine or
Mhm.
aperitif. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
I don't know what that means.
Just like a
Are we talking French now?
I don't know wine
oui,
either.
oui, oui.
I drink White Claw. I drink Twisted Teas. And sometimes I have fancy beers.
we got some work to do with you.
Yeah. I know. I'm going to have to come down
Work
and,
on that.
and check it out.
All right. What are stouts? Hot faucets.
That's a spout.
Water.
Well
Yes.
done. Well, you pass.
Water tornadoes that don't hit the ground.
Ooh, a water spout? Yeah.
A dark beer that usually has a higher percentage of alcohol.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one.
Stout. Is that true?
Decent answer.
Yeah.
All
I'd
right.
say that's 90% accurate.
So when we come up to you at festivals, we can say which ones are stouts instead of which one has the most alcohol.
Yeah.
It's kind of a misconception.
Which
of
one's
it.
the stout?
Stouts are not always high alcohol though.
Stout,
Throw in a little.
okay.
stout can be
curveball.
Like Guinness.
Stout can be
I
like
think
a
Guinness
4%.
is like a 4%.
Oh,
beer,
okay.
so. But
But-
people see dark and they're like, "Oh God,
Oh,
this beer is gonna
yeah.
kill me."
Yeah.
But it's not always true.
ales
Okay.
and lagers. You can
How
both.
do you get more alcohol in it? More sugar?
More barley,
More barley?
but you get
Oh.
sugar from the barley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we could talk about brewing process
Yeah,
if
we
you
can.
want.
Yeah,
but
get
Yes.
into
It's gonna
the
be like
we
the
do.
starch
technical.
to sugar.
Let's get
conversion.
technical.
So starch,
take that. Let me
starch
take
to
that.
sugar conversion.
Yep.
Yes.
You want to talk about enzymes? You want to talk some?
Yeah.
Wait, okay,
biochemistry?
so I take.
Now we're getting.
I'm just gonna,
now
like-
We're,
We're
going
going deep.
technical.
I'm gonna simplify
Go in the
it.
woods here,
Okay.
people.
I take some water.
Mm-hmm.
I take some barley.
Yes.
I take some sugar.
No.
Nope. You don't
No.
need sugar.
It makes the sugar.
Yes.
Yes.
The barley makes the sugar. And I take some yeast. And then I mix it all up and let it
Ferment.
for a
Let's
little
ferment.
bit.
And that's you're the new brew master.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
It's a pretty.
I'm the ale
it's-
lady.
It's a,
What'd you call it?
Ale
wife.
it's a pretty good description, actually.
I just had to
Kinda-
dumb it down
it's
for
in a
the other
nutshell.
people,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
who understand the same way I do. So then you put more barley in, and that makes it.
No. Not during fermentation. But
To start.
To start,
start, and that makes a stronger
Right.
alcohol percentage.
So for us, like we have a 15 barrel system, right? So our average grain bill size, we put in 1,000 pounds of barley, say, and that'll give us 15 barrels of a 6% beer.
Okay.
They're very rough numbers, but
Yeah.
So if we wanted to make a 10% beer, we would shove 1,600 pounds of barley.
Oh,
in
wow.
Ooh.
there. That's our Baltic Porter, for example. We put 1,600 pounds of grain in there. We should probably do a little less because it makes for a very long brew day, but
Oh yeah.
We
Makes
do, we gotta
things
do.
interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, so you end up with a higher sugar content in that. When you mix barley with water, hot water, then you've got the enzymes in the barley that convert starches in that little barley seed into sugars. So that's the mashing process. That's kind of like the first step of brewing.
Okay.
So the more grain you put in there, the more barley you put in there, the more sugars you'll have in that liquid, which we call wort, before it's fermented. So the higher the percentage of sugar in that wort, the more the yeast has to eat. The more they eat, the more alcohol they produce. That's
Okay.
essentially it.
Wow.
100% correct. And yeah, there are whole kinds of variables we can go into about
Right.
Yeah, we could start talking about specific enzymes and
Times
pH
and
all
temperature.
kinds
We
of
have
stuff.
some pretty
So then
serious
you can-
beer drinkers
I
that
know.
listen, so
Yeah.
I know that they're
Yeah.
interested in all of this. So just don't be afraid to say
So
anything.
when you say enzymes, you add enzymes?
No.
No,
the
it just
enzymes-
naturally
Think
Think about it
happens.
this way. Barley is just a seed, right? And
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a plant that wants to grow. So
Okay.
it has enzymes that are created by nature that essentially turn its reserve starch, which is, storing food for itself for next season's growth. So when you get it wet, those enzymes start to work on those starches and break them into smaller molecules that are just sugars, and then it has energy combined with sun to grow into a plant.
I just
Well,
want to
so we
know,
steal
like,
that energy and we make beer.
how did
Wow,
they figure it
amazing.
out? How did they figure it out? Do we know anything about history of beer?
I think we go back into like Egyptian history
Egyptian
here.
time. Yeah. Just
they knew how to party back
trying
then.
to make
Well,
trying to make bread.
They were trying to make bread, and
Okay.
they kind of fucked up, and it started to rot. And
Oh,
and they were like, this shit
but
makes me
hold
feel
on a
wobbly.
second, exactly. That's exactly what,
Let's do
this
that
is
again.
It was a good mistake.
Yeah,
it was.
absolutely.
That's crazy. That's fun.
What is yeast?
An infection you don't want?
Is it is it yogurt? Yogurt cures it. And then is there
Just don't put the yogurt
it
in
says
there, though.
SpongeBob's nemesis, it says.
SpongeBob
Or bacteria
nemesis.
that converts malt sugars to alcohol and CO2 gases.
I'm going to go with a
Yeah,
bacteria.
I figured. You
Yeah.
don't want to go with yogurt?
No.
Well,
It's actually not a bacteria.
it's not a bacteria. It's,
What is it?
So,
It's a
Yeah.
yeast.
it's actually a fungus.
This is actually from
fungus.
quizbliss.com. We're
All
going to
right,
yell at them and be
Quiz
like,
Bliss.
nope.
You're gonna have to fact check this.
So wait,
We're
a
all right, so
fungus?
what is
It's
it?
a single-celled organism that essentially, it eats the sugar
Okay.
that the barley has in it, and it converts it into alcohol, carbon dioxide, and flavor compounds.
Those are the three byproducts of
A mushroom?
fermentation.
A mushroom, too?
It's related to them.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Single cell.
We are calling out this website.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of true.
What is a Bach? A character in Wicked.
We just talked
Another
about
name
that.
for Guinness. Or strong dark beer brewed in the fall and drank in the spring.
Oh.
Is that correct?
You guys are looking at me like I should know the answer.
I
That's
think
the
there's-
answer they want.
There's been a pattern.
Again, not
Yeah.
100%.
Again, not correct. What's a Bach?
There are a few different box styles. There are light box, amber box, and dark box. So yeah, they can be brewed.
So what did they say? They brew them in the spring for the fall?
Yeah, brewed in the
Okay.
fall and drank in the spring.
Oh.
I think they said it was
backwards.
a dark beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
strong dark beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not necessarily a dark beer.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be dark.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
okay.
like a Bach family of beers, and could be anything from My Bach, which is kind of a deep golden beer that released in May typically.
Yeah. Or
Doppelbock.
Doppelbock. I want
I
to try
think
that
translated means double Bach, right?
or
Yeah.
Double.
a Hellerbach, which is a golden
Heller.
Hellerbach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
It just
like
says Heller.
I ordered a Bach, not when we were in Indy, but somewhere else, and it was light. And I was surprised because in my mind, I thought that it was dark.
You thought it was going to be a Guinness?
Well, yeah. Do you have anything that's similar to Guinness Blonde?
But if I had to guess,
Oh.
it's probably like
Probably a blonde ale.
like English blonde ale.
Yeah.
On nitrogen.
Do you have
Is it on
anything similar
nitrogen?
at the
I don't know.
brewery that
I
would
would
be
think-
like that?
We have a blonde ale.
We do have
Yeah.
a blonde
There you
ale.
go.
Yeah, that is my favorite. Blondes are my favorite.
I
Mhm.
like Anything.
You really like to try everything. Like when we go out, she's like, "Tell me about this one and this one," and you do. You try
I'll
a
try
lot.
it.
Yeah.
I'll make them give me a sip, and if I don't like it, I tell them.
Yeah.
I got no problem
If
telling
you
them.
don't like it, don't drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just gonna make me sick.
What
Feel
beers are you going to
gross.
have at the Richmond Brat House?
Oh, do we know?
Because that's where
Did
we
they
met
already
you.
take
That's right.
beer?
Did they taste it yet, or I can't remember?
Yeah, they have tasted it. They'll be picking that up very soon. So it's a Midwest IPA.
Nice.
Oh, yay! If you bring them a sample of what you're thinking, and they're like, "No, I need it to be this and this," how do you adjust, or do you just start over? Like,
If
can you
they
tell
say
me
we
about? Can
have-
you tell me about the sales process, I guess, of it, or
Sure.
like meeting with the owners?
They already
and
have
how-
similar ones. They want something different. Maybe
Yeah,
they might
yeah.
say or something like that.
Yeah, when they approached us about making a beer for them, we had something already in the hopper, and we thought it was right in the wheelhouse. But again, it didn't work out. So we had something in our back pocket, and that was it.
That
So
worked out
Yeah,
good.
I mean, you
it was
just never know, right?
right.
You never know what people are looking for, but that's awesome.
You know what I love about Gina and Jerry is they support local business.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
That's
They do.
that's the thing that I love about them most. I have another question. So you said brew day is like an 8-hour day if it's like really crazy,
Hmm.
but then do you bottle that day or does it have to age?
No, it's got to age. Yeah,
It's got to
Yeah,
age.
so-
So how long is that?
ale
I
versus
mean,
lager, right?
I know
Ale
it's
versus lager.
Ales we can turn around pretty quickly.
About 2 weeks.
It's fermenting at a
Oh,
warmer temperature, so the
that's
yeasts are
a
more
long time.
active, so
yeah.
they move
Yeah.
faster. But yeah, an ale like our IPA or session IPA, we can turn that around in 10 days. Is pretty reasonable time frame.
Okay.
There are other beers we can even do faster, but lagers will take a little bit more time. Lagers ferment at the colder temperature, so yeast are not as active at a colder temperature, so they just work slower.
Yeah.
So like a Pilsner, we're probably turning this around in about a month.
Oh my gosh, it takes that
Doppelbock
long.
sat in the tank for 3 months before we released it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The bigger beers like the Baltic Porter and Doppelbock, we want those to sit a bit longer.
And sometimes
let them condition.
Yeah,
and
the yeast will finish fermenting, but the flavors haven't really
The
developed
aging,
fully,
yeah.
so they kind of come together over time. So the bigger the beer, typically the longer it takes.
Have you ever had it where you started production and it just didn't work out? Like you could just tell from the start it wasn't going to taste good.
Just
You
had
didn't-
to empty
it
it
wasn't
down the
going
drain.
where you wanted it to go. Like, can you talk a little bit on that? Or on the other side, did you start production? You were like, oh, whoa, this is way better than I thought, or it's
Totally different.
totally different than what I thought.
Well, I think like at this point in our careers anyway, we've
Yeah.
experimented enough with different ingredients, so we kind of have an expectation of what things are going to turn out as. So
Yeah.
So
when
that was
things-
the early days when
things
that
go
happened.
wrong, it's like you're trying something that you haven't tried before. I know I've had batches on big systems where sometimes we will add an additional sugar to the beer because we want it to create higher alcohol without adding too much more body or anything. So
Yeah.
we'll just add a simple sugar and let the yeast ferment it and just give us more alcohol. But then sometimes the yeast will react not the way you expect, and they'll produce an off flavor, and then it's like, well, this is not the way I want it to taste. So
And you can't turn back from that point.
no,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
really not much you can
Done.
do. So I've had batches where it's like, oh, well, we didn't know how this was going to work out, and it didn't work out well. So, sewage system, here you come.
Really? Oh, and about
But
how
we're not
much?
going to serve that. So
Yeah, okay. Have you ever had like a vendor just send you bad, you could just tell it was like bad hops or bad barley or anything like that? Or is it usually pretty consistent?
I mean, hops, it's all agricultural products. so
Right.
It's going to change
Yeah,
year
it's
to
all
year.
AG,
especially
so
hops.
we got year to year. Even the same variety is going to be different
Yeah.
year to year.
So could every batch of what you think will be the same be different from each other?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
okay,
will-
okay.
I mean,
You have to be able to adjust.
you
Sure.
Take a
So-
variety of hops, and from 2020 to 21, it's going to be slightly different,
Right.
but it's the same variety.
Yeah. But how much rain did those hops get that year?
Right.
versus
Yeah,
The year before. How
yeah.
much sun did they get? It's a flower, so it's going to
Yeah.
grow different based on its environment. So.
Right.
So some breweries will tell you, well, we never change this recipe. We're so consistent, but you have to change the recipe because your
Because
ingredients are
it's-
changing.
yeah.
So
Right.
You have to be just
You're at the mercy of the materials, right?
right. So
Yeah.
you're always adjusting, and that's kind of where
Yeah.
your palate comes into play. And
So since you guys started in the middle of the pandemic, maybe you haven't noticed as much as maybe somebody who's had a business for 5 years. But again, I could be wrong and you would know already. But how about the price of ingredients?
Excellent
yeah,
question.
I mean,
Huge increase,
Yes.
little
it
increase.
has gone up significantly.
Yeah.
In my 12 years of brewing, yeah, the price that's gone up in the past year has been
What about like even the glass bottles?
Everything.
glass bottles,
Everything.
every paper, the label,
Yeah.
the cardboard, the cartons, everything, the crowns, everything has
Mhm.
gone up significantly.
I like you call them crowns
Um,
and not bottle caps
and
because it is a crown on top.
another
right?
big thing has been freight and shipping.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
just with fuel
Yeah.
prices going through the roof.
And one thing that
yeah.
I said recently was I feel like we all know fuel goes up and down, right? It
Mhm.
always goes up and down. But food and like things, once they get to a price,
They never
stay
come
there.
back. Yeah,
Right.
That's so
It's-
true.
It just keeps going up from there, you know? So how much, if I go to Binny's, how much is a 6-pack of beer?
A 6-pack of Pilsner is going to cost you about $12 out
Okay.
the door.
Mhm.
$12 out the door. We include our tax at the tap room, so it's $12 out the door. So I think their set price is probably $10.99
Yeah.
plus
Mhm.
tax. So
Yeah.
it's approximate.
And that's not, I don't think that's a terrible price.
I don't think so either.
'Cause
That's a
it's-
fair price.
yeah.
I mean, we're cutting it pretty tight.
$12
And,
is $2 a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pay more than that at the bar,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I would say pre-pandemic, average craft beer prices were probably $10 a 6-pack.
Yeah.
For most
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
I feel like I always pay 12
so,
for a
I mean,
6-pack
you
when I
got-
go anywhere.
20% increase, right?
Yeah.
Our material costs have probably gone up 50%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh.
That's crazy.
I mean, I remember buying barley at like 32 cents a pound, and now it's
Now
like,
we're at like 50 to 60 cents a pound just for base malt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you recycle bottles? Or are they all
We do not. These are one-use bottles.
okay.
But glass is a great recyclable
Oh, yeah.
material.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If
I feel like the stuff I throw in the recycling bin just ends up in the landfill anyways. Like,
I hate to say you're right.
I
but,
know.
Yeah.
You may be
But
it's
you're
like
right.
unless you peel off the label, rinse it out, and like put it back in the 6-pack, they just toss it in the garbage
Mhm.
anyways, you know?
That's why you have to become a crafter and put lights in it and, like decorate it with like flowers and some shit.
With how much me and Johnny drink, it would be
lot of
my only
decorations.
decoration.
You'd have a glass house.
You could build a house, yeah.
Start breaking them and just putting them into brick molds.
Let's talk about your customers. Like, how many do you see in a week, in a day? What's your busiest day?
Busiest day is going to be Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Sure.
Does it depend on the weather?
It does. Absolutely.
Mhm.
We had last Friday, perfect example. Huge storm came through.
Yeah.
Probably half the amount of customers came in.
Mm-hmm.
But we also had a food truck, and we try to get those guys out here and
Oh, that's cool.
have
Yeah.
we can't control the weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to do everything to accommodate the food trucks, our customers, and just make it a community oriented space and
Yeah.
everyone be comfortable.
So
Mhm.
you link up with the food trucks and say, hey, why don't you come
Yeah.
these days?
Yeah.
That's a
We,
really good idea.
Yeah, we try to get at least 2 or 3 out a week, and that definitely helps. People with food. We don't have a kitchen. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're always welcome to bring your leftovers, your noodle casserole, or
If you talk nice to Dan, he'll let you use the microwave. In the
Nah,
back.
if it's
No,
tuna
don't
noodle
use that.
casserole,
Don't do
though.
that.
Do not burn your popcorn in the
Yeah.
microwave, please.
Do not
Who
cook.
burnt the damn popcorn?
Don't cook fish in my microwave.
We do offer some snacks, though. So if you want to buy a bag of pretzels or
Yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely.
bison
Yeah.
meat sticks.
Ooh.
Yeah, you have
I
like the racks,
those.
right?
Yeah.
When you go to get your beer, they're up there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we have
I
some.
see. I've been there. I just
know,
don't
I
have the
never
shirt. I've been there.
And there's a ton of great restaurants in Woodstock. You can always order for delivery or whatever.
Yep, that's what we
so,
did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
or
awesome.
pick it up, bring it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have great
That's
parking.
awesome.
Plenty of parking.
Yeah, plenty of
Plenty of
parking, and then
parking.
all the benches out in the front to sit, and it's beautiful.
Waiting for winter to finally end.
Oh my
so we
gosh,
can
is
all
this the
sit
longest
outside.
winter ever?
I feel like I told you the other
Man.
day I was crabby as shit. Like, I'm done with it. And then you were like, I'm crabby too. And then Bessie was like, I'm crabby too. And I was like, I started
we
a
just had a
trend.
crab ass day.
Yeah. I've
We were
been
bitching about our
fucking
husbands.
crabby.
We were bitching about customers, about work, everything.
We're always bitching about the husbands.
Actually, you know what I was crabby about yesterday? I went to
What?
go get an emissions test. Did I tell you this or no?
No.
I told somebody I worked with. I went to go get an emissions test. It's right across the street here. And he walks around my car and he's like, you got a bubble in your tire. And I'm like, yeah, well, I drive to Chicago all the time. I hit potholes. And he's like, that's very dangerous.
Oh, my God.
So then he walks around my car and he goes, you got a bubble in this one,
Oh,
too.
my
Time for some new
God.
tires.
And I'm like, yeah. And I said, it's because you sell tires here. No, sure enough. It's like the size of a walnut or something on
They
the
do
side of my
sell tires there. I
But
know
I went to the
exactly where you
place
went.
by you because they have like so many.
I love the place by
They
me.
are so nice. Thanks, Larry.
I love
So
Larry.
He was super nice. And I'm like, oh, my dad's name is Larry. And he was like, okay, goodbye. I don't think he was like real excited that I said that. I don't know why.
Does he know that
It
you're
got awkward.
Does Larry know you're friends with me?
No, I'll tell him though,
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's my rep. So I gotta actually
Yeah.
drop my car off tonight because I
Oh,
have to
yeah.
drive to Michigan and we drive to the city this weekend. So
You're driving to Michigan?
I have 2 baby showers this weekend. There will be beer. Unfortunately, it won't be Kishwaukee Brewery beer, but
Why not? You can go get it from Benny's
I probably.
before you leave.
Well, it's at a Sox
Load up your
game.
trunk.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's at
my
a
family's
Sox
making me
game.
go to a Sox
Okay.
game on Saturday, but it's for a baby shower, and I got a baby shower on Sunday too. All these people having babies.
Not me.
Socks are the good guys.
Oh no!
Yes,
that's
You
I
didn't
don't
tell me
know
that
whose house
before
you
this.
This podcast is over.
All right, we gotta go.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Talk to you next week.
We are Cubs fans over
I
here.
actually
Uh-oh.
think that. So I was like a rebel when I was younger. My whole family likes the Sox. I think I picked the
did it
Cubs
just
because I was
because,
just like,
yeah.
yeah, just for spite.
Bud and Megan just
Screw
went to
you,
a Cubs
family.
game. Megan won tickets for her birthday.
Did they go to the Blackhawks game?
They went to the Blackhawks.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
'cause
yeah,
it was
yeah.
Megan's birthday weekend. Happy birthday, Megan.
Happy birthday, Megan.
And Bud took her to the Cubs game, and they both wore Sox hats to it.
Just cause.
You guys are jerks.
I like it.
I mean, I'll wear black and white on Saturday. I think the last time I wore a Cubs jersey, my mom was like, "Are you serious right now?" So in total, how many beers have you created for Kishwaukee?
Oh.
Brewery?
For Kishwaukee?
Yeah,
Ooh,
for
I
Kishwaukee.
didn't know I was
know.
gonna have to.
Jeez.
I know I didn't put that in the email. Sorry, I'm throwing you off with questions.
Well, we kind of do a lot of small batch things too. So we just kind of we have a pilot system that we just experiment with. So we're typically releasing something new every week.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
If you add that onto the number of core beers we have, I mean,
Probably
brewed
ballpark it like
100.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I was thinking 200.
Yeah, I was too. So that's
It's possible,
that's still a
maybe.
lot.
When you're
I'd say 100's probably accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you're
wow.
experimenting with these little things, then do you have like a smaller brewer that you use
We do.
instead of taking up a big one
Yeah,
that
it's
is
this short little
in
2-foot guy
production?
that comes around. It's our leprechaun.
The Leprechaun Brewer.
Now we have it's a half barrel system, so essentially we brew on that and it makes 1 keg.
Okay.
So it's a good way to experiment with ingredients and
Yeah.
new hop variety that I've never tried before. Let's try it out.
Yeah.
Where'd you get all your equipment from?
Try to find different flavors.
The
Do you
pilot
have-
system actually came from Dan's Seattle Kitchen Brewery.
That's right. Yeah.
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 So
That
we
was,
moved across the country.
That was that's now our pilot system. So we make 1 keg at a time on that. But
And that was in your garage?
that was
Or-
In
That-
your living room? It was in your living room, wasn't it?
Honey, why can't we sit on the couch?
I'm brewing.
that system actually was after our stovetop system. We were just cooking on our electric stove and a 5-gallon pot, and then I upgraded to this half barrel system.
Ah.
And my wife's brother and sister-in-law were generous enough to let me keep all that equipment in their garage because they,
That's
Oh.
very nice of them.
they had a house and an outdoor space that I could actually like cook on outside. But
And
yeah,
it's
just
still,
had to
it's
share
still
with
in
them?
the brewery now or no?
It
It's-
is still
it's
It
still
is?
there.
Oh, okay, it is.
I just used it today.
Mark,
Oh,
Mark
amazing.
brewed a pilot batch of American wheat beer today.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
So then when you make a wheat beer, does it still have barley in it?
Typically, yes.
Okay.
Wheat has a lower enzyme content, so it can't really convert its own starches into sugars that
Okay.
well. So you kind of have to mix some barley in. And wheat also doesn't have a husk, so it's harder to filter the liquid out from it.
Okay.
So we kind of use the barley as kind of a crutch per se.
Okay.
So
Does it squeeze it? Or do you just drain it?
you just drain it.
You don't got to stomp on it like
No,
grapes?
they're not grapes. We could stomp on it, but it's really hot, and I don't want to burn my feet.
Okay, all right.
How hot does it
Get them big
What's the
boots.
temps?
Get some waders.
Mash temperature is typically 140 to
160.
160.
Oh, yeah, that's hot.
Ooh.
Somewhere in that range.
That's
That's about how I like my showers.
I was gonna
It's a
say,
slow
yeah.
burn, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you see a lot of the same customers?
We have
Yes.
a regular
I'm never out of
staff.
questions.
We do have a lot of regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a mug club membership. So
Oh,
yeah. Are the numbers underneath the mug?
we do not number our mugs.
Oh.
That just makes logistics easier for our servers behind the bar, so they're not
Oh.
digging behind a bunch of
Oh, yes.
bunch of mugs, and say number 2 hasn't shown up in like
2 months.
Yeah.
Your,
It's
your
all
mug's a
dusty
little
and-
dusty, yeah.
and
So
like-
how do they prove that they're a mug customer?
Well, we use like a dog tag, so everyone gets a dog tag that's a member of Kishwaukee Mug Club, and they just flash their tag and
Oh, you got one?
I think I have
You
one.
got one.
Yeah. So it looks like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anodized
It's the
aluminum with
symbol.
a,
Yeah, the
Nice.
logo on there.
I don't have a number.
I was
Two?
going to say one.
Apparently I don't
Number
need a
2?
number.
I don't have one either.
No.
But that's what it looks like.
Oh, that's neat. It's blue.
So I know I'm going to say, have you guys seen? I know you've seen. But what do you think of those pourers that you set the cup on top of and it shoots
Fills
up into
from
the
underneath?
glass? Yeah.
Not a fan.
No.
Me neither.
No.
No.
Difficult to clean.
And I believe yesterday was Clean Beer Glass Day.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually a thing.
Yeah.
But
But
that
Like
should-
national
like
Clean Your
national or
Beer
like it's the
Glass
25th
Day?
of every month at your brewery?
no, apparently it's a national thing.
They make a
like,
national
every year,
holiday for
Oh,
everything.
I'm glad that exists.
but that should be every day.
It should
Oh,
be
it
every
should
day.
be.
So
yeah.
that's one way to not have a clean beer glass.
Yeah, because it's like
You got
magnetic
moving, you got
and stuff,
moving
right?
parts.
Yeah.
Moving parts are never good.
Yeah.
So how many are in the club? How many mugs you got?
Let's see, we got 105
Oh, that's good.
approximately. Yeah.
So they just flash their
Yep.
dog tag and
That's right.
do
So
they get a
then-
discount
Yeah, I
or
was
they
just
just
gonna
they
say.
just have the
That's right.
pride of the mug?
Oh,
They got the
discounts.
mug, the mugs, a few ounces extra,
Oh, nice.
or they get discounts on kegs to go, discounts on.
Oh, we can buy kegs from you. for-
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you
Our
come,
4th of July just got so much better.
Yeah.
come on in.
That's what
and,
I'm talking
yeah.
about.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got a
Uh,
bunch of kegs you could walk in anytime and buy.
I was just going to ask,
but-
how much notice do you need?
If
Give us.
ideally, if you shoot us an email,
3
a couple
days.
days before, if we don't have it, we could probably fill it for you.
Yeah.
Is it a problem if we shoot you an email every weekend?
Not at all.
No? All right, good.
No.
We'll give you a keg every
Now
week.
that I
Yeah,
have your email.
yeah.
And if we get part of the mug club, maybe they'll give us a little discount on the kegs every single
Well, we get more than
weekend.
2 ounces, it sounds like, so we just need to go there instead of the festivals.
You do get discounts on kegs for sure.
Fill this mug up, and
Oh
what's the
my
percentage?
God.
What's the strongest
Could
one?
you imagine me and you just tapping a keg down here and
Can you imagine me
never
and you calling an
leaving?
Uber? Because that's what's going to happen.
An Uber to where? We'll both sleep on the couch.
Oh, here. Oh, we just have to go pick it up and
Yeah,
then come back. Oh,
yeah,
I'm in. I'm
yeah.
in.
No, we just
Can
tap
make your
it
podcast
right in
much
your-
more entertaining.
Absolutely.
We'll tap it right in the beer garden, just in the parking lot.
Yeah, done. Done. Is that legal? I don't even
I don't
know.
I'm
think
sure
so.
it's not.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea.
Should we try
Probably
it?
not a
No, we
good
probably
idea.
shouldn't
No.
try it.
Yeah.
It's a food truck.
So what's up and coming for the brewery? Anything exciting?
Yeah. This is a big week coming up. Next week is a Craft Brewers Conference up in Minneapolis. Unfortunately, we're not going to be making it up there, but it's also World Beer Cup time, so we've entered beers into that. And
Oh,
Oh, I was just going to
Nice.
ask if you do.
Yeah, so that's
So-
probably the
Competitions.
biggest competition in the world.
Yeah,
So you have breweries from all over the place.
Wait, what is it called?
World
World
Beer
Beer
Cup.
Cup.
World Beer Cup. I'm Googling.
Do you
it
know who's
all.
won the last couple of years? That
Well, it's all category based.
Oh, okay.
so
there's not one like grand finale winner.
I don't know if they do that
No.
for World Beer Cup. There's another competition,
yeah.
Great American Beer Festival every year.
Okay.
And they kind of do awards for like best large brewery, best small brewery.
Yeah, I can't remember if they
I don't
do
know if
that
World
for
Beer Cup does that.
World
Are
Beer
you a
Cup.
past winner of the World Beer Cup?
There's not been a World Beer Cup since we were Kishwaukee Brewing.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's every other year. so
Okay.
Oh,
It
okay.
has
Yeah.
not happened yet.
So this will be
So
your
it's May
first year
5th.
entering.
The most prestigious beer competition in the world.
Did you say May 5th?
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo?
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, shit.
They know how to do it.
We will be releasing a Cinco de Mayo beer.
Are you?
That's right. Yeah.
What's the flavor of that?
It's a Mexican lager.
Do you put a lime on it?
You can. I won't stop you, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
Put,
It's like, don't be putting fruit
We
on
won't
my
be
beer.
serving it
Some
with lime,
tahini
but
on
if you
top.
bring your own limes, like I said, we can bring your own fruit. So, wanna
He
slice
said
up
they
some
only have
lime?
pretzels and shirts.
Dip your pretzel in it.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah. Oh, very neat. And so how many beers do you have in that competition?
How many did we
See,
send? 6? 5?
Oh, wow.
I think it was, we entered 5.
So you won't know until the 5th. Or do they send it to you
We'll have
early?
no idea.
No idea.
I think the award ceremony is that Thursday. So whatever first Thursday of May is.
Yeah, okay. First
Which is probably
Thursday of
Cinco de
May, which is
Mayo.
the 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that's when you find out.
Well, there
Okay.
you go.
Well, this is a
Categories.
winner to me, this Pilsner.
I know. I
so-
like this one a lot.
That's entered in the competition.
Brown ale.
Brown ale.
And what do you do?
Is
Just
that
send a
4?
6-pack, or how do you send it?
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
send like what
I think
12,
this year they wanted 12 per
12
category.
bottles of each.
Okay.
Each
So
entry.
12 judges, maybe.
Yeah, because it'll typically go through like rounds
through
of
rounds.
judging. So,
Oh,
okay.
sure.
Yeah. Like we're gonna
Oh,
pass.
so maybe
it
there's only
through.
4, and then there's 3 rounds, or
Right.
something,
Right.
vice
Right.
versa. Okay.
Right.
So you don't want to shove like 50 beers in front of one judge and be like, pick the best one.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they usually do, you'll as a judge, you'll go through maybe 10 beers in a kind of a flight, and you kind of rank those.
And it's March Madness.
You pick that's kind of
Yeah.
essentially what it is. You'll pick
Yeah.
your top
Exactly.
3, and they move on to the next round, and then there's another group of judges who will judge those.
And they have
Yeah.
to have a bunch of categories, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
There
Oh
are.
God,
Yeah.
there's hundreds of
Um,
categories.
Yeah.
I think they've narrowed it down to maybe 100.
But
Is that not a deer butthole?
I never looked at it that way.
Actually, what is that?
You're expanding my horizon. here. I thought it was chewed bubble gum.
It's a deer
Chewed
butthole.
bubblegum.
I think
It's
it's
this
what
deer.
what are
pretty-
these
I'm
things
pretty
and
called?
his
sure-
butt is over here.
it's a lily pad.
It's a lily pad.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna
no,
have to
But
go
it's a
with
lily
that.
pad with
Deer's
antlers.
And that's his fuzzy butthole.
What are these things called again?
Well, I think
I
those,
never remember
those
what
are
those are.
shoots.
Cattails?
Those are
Cattails,
shoots
yeah.
coming up from the lily pads.
Okay. I'll take it.
Terrible. Terrible.
I like it. I think it's awesome. Someone snuck a butthole
All right,
onto
now
their
you know
bottle.
our labels are like, where's Waldo?
Yeah. I mean, you could seriously stare at it for a while.
I know. I like it. And it's
All right.
nature.
I was just going to ask, if you didn't have the brewery, what beer are you reaching for at a store? Or at
Yeah.
That's a good one. Actually,
Hams would probably
Hams.
be
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I was just going to ask
If
that.
I'm looking for a
Confidence.
large quantity of very drinkable beer.
yeah,
It's hams.
Yeah.
domestic lager, sure,
Yeah.
hams.
I
What
also-
about PBR?
Yeah, I'll drink
I'm not a
PBR,
huge fan of PBR.
but
I
hams,
grew up on old style.
Hams is
so
my go-to.
Yeah.
Same.
I can still
Mhm.
drink old style.
Mm-hmm.
While we were building the brewery, we didn't have any beer, obviously, so hams was
Yeah.
a frequent stop at the Mariano's.
Ah.
Yeah, we had no
Nice.
beer in the tanks, but we had a very large cold room, so we had to put something in
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah. Had to put something in there to keep the cost down.
that's right.
Yeah.
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 Empty space in the fridge is bad, right?
It is.
Well, thanks so much for being here.
Is that it?
Our
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Kicking us out.
No.
We're going to stop
All right.
antagonizing you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So give
This
us your
was so
Facebook one more
fun.
time.
Kishwaukee Brewing.
Okay. And then do you have an email, like you said, if people want to like email you and reserve a keg?
Sure. Best way to email us would be info@kishwaukeebrewing.com.
Okay.
And what's the address of the brewery?
1900 Dillard Court, Woodstock, Illinois.
Nice.
Very good. Very exciting.
You can count on us coming in soon and just creating havoc.
I'd be disappointed if
Right.
If we didn't. Oh my gosh, this was so fun. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for schooling us on
And bringing some beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
know, I'm pretty buzzed.
And thanks to everybody that's listening. We'll see you next week.
BEERRUN.
E-double-E-double-R-U-N.
you.
B-double-E. What is it? B-double-E double what?
RUN.
Beer run. Beer run.
Beer run.
Beer run. Beware run.
All right, everybody go take a beer run. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by Name Tag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. Drums, written and performed by my son Steven. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.